when it comes to generating referrals, number one, you have to ask correctly. Number two, you have to have both a client and a team incentive. And number three, measure, measure, measure. So let's run through this. First of all, ask correctly. So as you guys know, you've always heard people say, hey, just ask, just ask, just ask. Listen, I am so tired of people saying that to me. How do you just ask for a referral? Well, here's the magic line. Here's the magic line. I literally had this, and there was one campaign when I kind of stumbled onto this by mistake, right? But at one point, it worked so well that if I just got my team to say this specifically at the front desk, it would double our referrals. Double. I literally had the following sentence that I'm about to say right now laminated at the front desk on the computer just so it was right there in front of them. And the sentence is this: if you simply ask every single person in your diary tomorrow this question, I will guarantee you that you are going to get a referral. This is the sentence. The sentence is this. Please write down. Hey, blank. Name, have you heard about our ... special? So let me give you more context for that. Hey, Mr. Smith, nice to see you. I just want to make sure, has somebody told you about our Halloween special got on this week? They're going to look at you blankly. They're going to say, what do you think they're going to say? Yes or no? They're going to say no. Of course they're going to say no. And once they've said no, you get an opportunity to ask or tell them about it rather. If that's all you did tomorrow. Now, if you're a doc listening, I know some of the names of this course. I know we've got some CAs, practice managers also listening. Docs, he has a great line. Please write this down. You want to leverage. People often listen way more to what you say in front of them than what you say to them. So a great line at the table is, hey, I should make sure, did the front desk tell you about our Thanksgiving buy one get one free special? Or did the front desk tell you about our bring a family member for free special this week? No. And they go, great. You walk to the front desk, and then you will do a handover at the front desk and make sure you speak to the CA and say, hey, Mary, can you please sort out Jim here? He hadn't heard about this week's special. Let's get him all sorted with that and do the handover. Give me a hand up now if you get that and you'll try that this week. Give me a hands up. Give me a hands up. You think that, honestly, I promise you right now. Give me a hand up if you're with me. Eric, good to see you. Are you still with me? Brian, you with me? Greg, you with me? Alex, you with me? Andrea, you with me? Alex, Jan, you with me? Rachel, Richard, Luke, you with me? Good job. Nick, good job. Good job. Good job. Give me a hands up. So number one thing when it comes to finding or getting a referral, listen, there are many cues before that. And some of the things I teach in New Patient Avalanche is the environment you create. I'm not talking about, there's so many parts still to teach when it comes to referrals, right? Obviously, it goes without saying that the thing that you provide needs to be world class. It goes without saying that the environment that you created prior to asking for the referral, statistically, they show that in some way, shape, or form, you need to have seeded something at least 7 times. So are you doing a tour, if you will, where you're showing the thank you for referral board, and are they seeing those cues when they walk into the office, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's so much more to teach around this, and there's a 7-step protocol to doing this repeatedly. Are you referring to it? And here's another little tip. Okay, I wasn't going to touch on this now, but here's a little advanced tip. Okay, right. Whenever we get a new patient who pays for an appointment, and before they come in, they get a welcome pack in the post. Now, think about the welcome pack in the post. Why is it there? Number one thing it's there for is to help generate social proof. So we'll have celebrity testimonials in that pack. Yes, in the post, snail mail, print. Listen, I always laugh at people who say, wow, Ryan, that costs you a lot of money. Are you mad? Think about like just $1 for someone who's potentially going to be with you for a lifetime. It's tiny amounts. If you're not sending right now something in the post prior to someone coming in, trust me, it's a lot harder for my business across 8 sites. I don't know if you guys saw the photo of me with all the stack. Please make sure you do it. There's all sorts of things. And you should all be published authors, by the way, because you should definitely be, especially if you don't have an associate-based practice, you should definitely be making sure that you leverage authority, and all you're trying to do is increase social proof and or authority before they walk in the door. So you can send them something called the shock and awe package, something we teach in New Patient Avalanche, where you build that authority. But I digress. Within that welcome pack, you also want to have seeds in there that say, I was referred, that mention celebrities, etc., etc. So by the time they walk in, it's a completely different conversation. Many people are talking about, day 1, day 2, and conversion classes and sales classes. Well, we don't have too much of a problem with that, especially with my inner circle members, because it's a completely different conversation by the time they walk in, if you've done your marketing properly and you've been omnipresent. Some of my agency clients, we do all the Facebook ads for them. So by the time someone walks in, they've already been watching them for sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6 months to a year in videos, etc., online. So it's just such a different conversation. You can't but have double the conversions as everyone else. So that's the first one. Number 2, you must have both a client and a team incentive where possible. I'm going to caveat that. So let me talk about a client incentive, how I stumbled across this. This was about a mistake as well. I stumbled across this completely by mistake. So we've been doing referral campaigns for a while. And one year we there's a massage therapy school here in London. And they got hold of me and they said, look, we're looking for hours for our students. They need hours for our students, and they need somewhere to provide these. And my knee-jerk reaction, which was immediately to say, well, look, I haven't got any space in my offices. It's not really what we do, so I can't help you. And I put down the phone, and we were just talking about our Valentine's special. Now, Valentine's and a massage go hand in hand, right? So I had this brainwave, and straight away what I did was I was like, wow, all these hours, we could probably provide the service. I got back on the phone with the person, and what I found was if I ran a referral campaign and offered an incentive for both the referrer and the referee, the results went through the roof. Now, do we do that every single time? You've got to be careful, right? So I do genuinely mean this. This is the honest truth, is the campaign went too well. Meaning we got so many referrals. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. But it blocked our diaries for a lot of the other sources, because I have multiple sources of new patients. How many would love to have that problem that you're like, oh man, I can't do that again because it works too well? Give me a hand up. Pretty cool, right? That's the problem we had, where it's like, whoa, I need to slow that down. Now, next, that's a client incentive. Does a client incentive help? Totally, it helps. Okay, golden rule though, we don't give the adjustments away for free as an incentive. We don't ever do that, right? Also, when it comes to campaigns, there is, by the way, all the results you see on me on Facebook, wherever, all my results when I generate new patients from online, we don't do free examinations online except for one time of the year. And the only time of the year that we do that, we've been through the process of free exams online. And as you guys know, there's pros and cons to everything, but certainly in January is the only time we break that rule for certain campaigns. So I would highly recommend, especially for a referral campaign, if you're ever going to do a massively reduced campaign or even like get your family check for free, it's in Jan. It's a one-time thing. But definitely play around with it in Jan, because it just helps your cause so much. So let's talk about the team incentive. Always have a team incentive. Right, so you've got to keep your results from this year's campaign or last year's campaign, so you can at least have a benchmark to aim for next year. So human beings are just like that, right? If you're not measuring something in some way, shape, or form, and some of your team may not like it, I don't care. It's just business. I don't like it either. But I'll tell you this: if you're part of Weight Watchers, the first thing you do when they walk into Weight Watchers is what? They measure you. That's it. The first thing you do. So you have to measure what you're looking to achieve, right? So we'll often set the team an incentive, and we like experiential incentives. We've tried all sorts of incentives. We've tried cash. We've sent teams to Ibiza many times. We have, for smaller campaigns like this, done a night out in London for theatre and dinner if we match last year's campaign or beat last year's campaign, etc. But always, and I know you're going to listen to me now, and some of you are going to ignore me, and some of you are going to forget, and some of you are going to look back at campaigns where you had incentives. Always have, even if it's a fun campaign for, we have a Michelin star restaurant down the road. So one of the sister restaurants, that was one of our prizes, is once you hit that campaign, we take you all out to that restaurant by Heston Blumenthal. Some of you might know him. Always have this incentive, right? If possible, have a client and a team incentive so everyone knows what they're aiming for. Next, measure, measure, measure. So you should all have if you will, an equivalent of a war room in your practice, and there should be a whiteboard somewhere, and you should be updating it. Here's the problem with people that measure things on a spreadsheet or some type, or Excel or whatever it is. The problem is that's hidden away. The only reason people get results when it comes to measuring is because they can see it. Now, there's a famous story. Listen up. The famous story. Some of you may have heard it. About Henry Ford. Henry Ford walked into his factory and he asked his morning shift how many cars they had created that morning. And let's say it was 5. And he wrote on the entrance floor to the warehouse, he wrote a big 5. So when the afternoon shift walked in, they walked over the big 5 that was written in chalk, and they said, "What is this?" And obviously he mentioned that the morning shift done 5. What do you guys think that the evening shift produced? 6, right? He wrote a big 6 on the floor. Then, and so on and so on and so on. The AM shift then walked in and saw they'd beaten them. So then that shift, they beat them by 2 or 3. That's just human nature. If you're not measuring in some way, shape, if you want any, please, I truly, truly, truly mean this. If you want anything in your business to improve, in your practice to improve, you have to measure it. Let me give you an example. We spend all this money on marketing training, Facebook ads, etc. But how many of you on this call right now know what your answer rate on your telephones are at the front desk? Yep, that's right. You need to know on a weekly basis. I know exactly in my business what percentage phone calls did we miss last week. And I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine about $1,000 to $2,000 burning in front of your eyes every single time you miss a phone call. Now, obviously, we can't prove that that's the case. But hey, do you think that all of us on this call have lost money and lost an opportunity to help someone by not answering the phone? The answer is damn freaking right. But if you want to improve, you have to know the stats on a weekly basis. So you have to make sure your computer system or telephone system can do that. Some of you listening to this webinar, just that one tip is worth double figures for you. Just that one tip. That's all you ever get from me. Just measuring your incoming calls. It's going to improve, and for some of you, you're going to grow your business $10,000, $20,000 just from that one tip. I promise you. How do I know? Because I've had one of my inner circle members grew his business. He swears that's the only thing he introduced, and he grew by $90,000, more than $90,000 pounds in a year just by that. So things I've just taught you, simple, very achievable. Here's someone who came onto my last webinar, right? Same strategy I taught in that one. Okay, 13 referrals within a week of learning just this. Final numbers are in from the Valentine's promo, 13 new patients just from the simple internal promo. Some of those have already committed to 12 visits, the gift that keeps on giving. The stuff freaking works. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you know exactly when I'm coming on to give you a great tip.